Hello my yogi friends, today we're going to be doing a leg focused flow. Please consider all injuries, if you need modifications and any medical conditions that you might have. I will encourage certain modifications, however I'm not going to be using any props, but if you need a block to sit on or maybe you have bricks to just aid in your practice, then you can use them. So we're going to be starting on the floor today in a seated position. Remember, you do not have to come into cross-legged position. You can always put your legs out straight or come onto your knees if this is uncomfortable. Remember, you can always have a block under your seat. And here we are going to just come into the practice really nicely and gently. So feel free to close your eyes here and you can bring your hands to your knees. Your palms can come open. Think about your spine. Where are your shoulders? Where are your, so remember to think about your posture. Is your shoulders away from your ears? Does your spine feel like it's caving in or arching back? Do you feel like you're open in the chest? Feel the floor underneath you, and if you want to just be able to lift that spine a little bit more, maybe you sit on a cushion, a block. Adjust yourself accordingly before we settle into the practice. When you are ready, think about the floor underneath you, grounding you. When we work with asanas, movements that are leg focused, we want to be thinking about that ground underneath us, stabilizing us and keeping us grounded into the practice. Reminding ourselves that yoga is not all the movements, it is the sensation, it is the experience. And that's what makes it so special. So feel your bum underneath you, the floor that lifts you up. Maybe the gravity of your knees coming down, your hands on your knees. The lift of your head so that your spine is in a nice neutral position. The gravity that allows your eyelids to fall. The tongue away from the top of the mouth. Relax the jaw and the forehead. And just come into the space, settle into the feeling of the floor underneath you, grounding you, and come maybe into a moment of silence. Notice the breath here. Don't feel forced to come into all the postures. Remember that sometimes they're not always all for us. But I'm giving you the chance to come into them if it's something that you want to explore, and I'm navigating you into them. But you never have to feel like they are a demand, because they could just be far too much for your body today. Allow yourself to open your eyes when you're ready. Adjust to the light in the room, adjust to the space in the room. become aware of your seat again one more time. So we're going to come and have straight legs, flex the feet towards you. You can have your knees bent. A blanket under the knees is also really nice, and you can always be sitting on your block still. So think about the spine again, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Your back's going to be in its natural curve, so we're not caving forward, slumping forward, and we're not arching back. Obviously those are exaggerated movements, but you might notice them more distinctly if you kind of think about them being those exaggerated movements. Do you feel like you're caving forward just a little bit? Can you bring those shoulders back away from the ears? Can you bring that back to be in much more of a neutral position? So, making sure our feet are flexed towards us, naughty toes. And we've got something under our knees if we feel like it. And we're going to bend the right knee, straighten it, bend the left knee. Just take it slowly, bending one knee at a time, making sure we have our breath. Your hands can be on your legs, or they can be out in front of you. And then maybe you make it more of a fluid movement. And then drop the left leg down, bring the right leg towards you. See if you can warm up that hip by straightening and bending the leg in the air. Feeling the hip joint here warming up. Your hands can be anywhere on the leg that feels comfortable. Try not to over-exaggerate the movement. We're not going to try and find our full range of movement here, because this is our warm-up. This is us beginning to heat our body up, ready for the practice. Straighten the leg back out. Bring the left leg in. Bring it up and down so the knee comes towards the chest. It might never get there, but that is absolutely fine. And then we're going to find some circles with the ankle. So lift it up where you feel comfortable. You can leave the heel on the floor, and you're going to do circles in one direction and then in the other direction. When you've done about 5 in one, 5 in the other, you may need to warm up one side a little bit more, just because we're a bit asymmetrical on each side. We are, it's not the same on each side. Then do some circles with the hips and the knee. Working around, not forcing the movement, just allowing it to be natural and whatever feels good to you. And then bring the foot down, bring the right leg up, and then do your ankle circles on your right leg. So it's like your toes are making a nice circle shape. You can always do figures of 8 if you get a bit bored of the circles. You can always do figures of 8 if you get bored of the circles. It's just a good reminder that figures of 8, they kind of work your brain as well. And then bring some circles into the hip. And when you feel warmed up, making sure you go in each direction with your circles, making sure you have a nice breath. You can bring the legs back to a cross-legged position, and we'll just do just warming up the upper body a little bit. So now we're going to bring the left hand to the right knee. The right hand's going to come behind us. We're going to lift up, making sure our chest is nice and open. So we're going to lift up so our chest is nice and open, our shoulders away from the ears, twist around towards the right side. The chin might follow, therefore the neck might follow. Go wherever it feels right, not forcing the neck round. Breathe in, straighten, and breathe out, twist. Come back. Bring your left hand to the left side. The right hand comes to the left knee and twist round towards the left side. Reminding ourselves to breathe in, straighten that spine, twist with the out breath. Nice fluid breath here. And then come back to center. Bring the right hand by the right side, left hand comes up. Feel the fingers pull away, bend the right arm, and come into your side bend. Opening out the chest. Come back over, bring the left arm down, the right hand comes up. Pull with the right fingers, feel a space in your armpit open up, 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 and then come over, bend the left elbow. Making sure that we rock that shoulder back a little bit, because then we can open up the chest some more, as well as bending in the side body. Come back up, bring the right hand down, make your own way to all fours. In all fours we come, so our shoulders are over our wrists and our hips are over our knees. Make sure if you have mobility that you're bending those elbows a little bit. And I like to face the eyes of my elbows to the front of the mat. Breathe in and out here, and we're going to do some cat-cows. So breathing in, we're going to drop the belly, lift the hips up, the chin's going to come up. Breathe in and out here. Drop those hips down so your bum comes towards the floor. Arch the back, drop the chin so the chin comes to the chest. Engage the core. Coming into cat, breathe in and out here. You can speed the movements up, or you can continue going quite slowly. Breathe in, come, drop the belly, lift the hips up, chin comes up, push with the hands. Roll the shoulders back. Breathing out. Bring the tailbone down. Core comes engaged. Drop the chin towards the chest. Breathing in. Drop the belly. Lift the hips up. Head comes up. Breathing in. Breathing out. Drop those hips down. The arch of our back engages the core. Drop the belly, lift the bum and the chin. From here, we're going to bring the right foot back. You're going to stretch out those right toes so you can kind of feel it pulling on your foot a little bit. Pulling your hamstring has a stretch down it to the back of your leg. And then we're going to lift that leg. You may not want to lift the leg. This might be enough of a stretch for you. But to warm up our leg, we're going to lift it. And we're just going to do circles in one direction. Breathe in and out. It doesn't matter where the hips go here. Just make sure that you're not uncomfortable or feel like you're hurting yourself. And then come to the other direction, making nice big circles with your foot. Drop that leg down. Bring the left leg out. Stretch those toes out. Lift it up. And then circles in one direction. It doesn't really matter if you've got your toes pointed or flexed. Mine are flexed, but I think that's out of habit more than anything else. But you might find it easier to draw the circles with your toes pointed. So making that decision for yourself. Other direction if you haven't already. Drop the leg down, come back to all fours, tuck the toes under, lift the bum, come into downward facing dog, pedal the knees out, take your own time here. In your downward facing dog, bring your right knee towards your chest. You can use blocks here if you need to. Drop the foot down so you come into a low lunge. So your foot lands in between the hands or a little bit behind them. Drop the back knee, come into a low lunge. The back foot can untuck its toes, and then you might have the ankle stretch, or you might be wanting to tuck the toes under. And we're coming into low lunge here. Hands to the chest, tuck those back toes under now. Lift up to a high lunge. Feel your glutes engage here. Your back leg is nice and straight. Breathe in and out. Bend that front knee nice and generously. Maybe drop the hips down a little bit lower. Drop the back knee. Bring the front foot back to bring that front foot back to meet the back knee, so that you come onto your knees. Then tuck your both toes under, lean back so you get a bit of a stretch in your toes. Maybe you need to untuck that pinky toe. Nice stretch through the feet, but also you feel it in your quads working. And then lift the left foot up to go to the front of the mat in your low lunge on your left side. Tuck those back toes under and then lift up into high lunge. You can drop the hips a little bit lower, maybe bend the front knee a bit more. Breathe here. Strong legs, engage the glutes. Such a good posture for strengthening those legs and working on the balance. And then we're going to lift the back foot to meet with the front foot. Come all the way to the front of the mat into Tadasana. Just maybe spread your hands out so that they come beside you. You can have them also on your hips. Breathe here. Maybe you close your eyes. Think about the floor underneath your feet, just like we did with the seat underneath us in our seated position at the beginning. This is such a grounding posture, and it's so important that we come into it and we come into it fully. You breathe here. Allow everything to be very natural, not forcing ourselves to control our breath. We can think about our spine again, coming into that natural curve of the spine, not forcing anything in particular. Hands come back to the heart, breathe. Open up the eyes. And we're going to we're going to come into Warrior 3. I personally have to move back a little bit because of the space around me, so just consider that. You can also have a wall next to you and use the wall to guide you down, or you could have it in front of you and bring your hands out, coming into Warrior 3 like this. But I will show you without. The wall is always there to support you though. If you don't have a wall, you could always use a chair, the back of a chair. Works really well. So we're going to bring our awareness to our right foot first. The weight's going to come onto our right side. Hands are going to be at the heart or on the waist. And we're going... I haven't even got into it. And we're going to bring our left leg back. We want our hips to stay parallel with each other, so one's not going to come back and swing back. They're going to stay very parallel, and one's not going to swing in the wrong direction. We're going to bring our awareness to the foot that's going to be in the front. It's going to be grounding into the floor. Breathe here. Then bring yourself so that your body comes forward, your foot comes off the floor. Lift that back foot. Flex the foot so it feels like you've got a wall behind you and you're pushing that foot in. Breathe, engage the core, maybe lift that back leg a little bit higher, and then drop the back foot down, coming into Warrior 1 legs. So Warrior 1 legs, just a reminder, we can always bring this foot out if our hips need that room to turn towards the front of the mat. And you can always bring that heel a little bit round, bend the front knee. Maybe you go a little bit further than you have today. I made mine a little bit wider. Hands can be at the waist, the heart center, or they could come all the way up. Maybe you bend at the elbows so you have a nice expansion of the chest. Coming into our warrior one, breathe in and out. Maybe those elbows try and meet each other in your back. They're not going to get there. But the thing of them being connected and trying to make them meet is just such like a powerful thing, in my opinion. Breathe in and out. That maybe you get that bend in your back. Engage the glutes. Then you're going to turn the back foot out and you're going to open the hips so they look towards the long edge of your mat. Maybe you make your stance a little bit longer. Bend that front knee, open up, warrior two. Breathe here. We've travelled through lots of warriors already. Look towards that front middle finger. Feel the connection of your shoulders being level with each other, your hands pulling away. You know what, we're going to try something today. We're going to bring the front arm to meet with the back the back arm even to meet with the front arm. We're going to pull back like we're pulling a bow, and then we're going to bring that hand all the way back and moving our knee forward a little bit more, see if we can get more of a stretch. Maybe that knee goes even further over the foot. Do it one more time. Bring your hands forward, bring it back, see how far forward you can come. Strong here, breathe in and out. Bring the hands to the waist, straighten that front knee. Bring the back foot to meet with the front leg a little bit more. So not completely, just making that stance a little bit shorter. So we're going to come into triangle from here. That front leg's going to stay straight, hands to your waist. Then come over so that your elbow's coming towards the floor and you begin to have a side body stretch up your left side. Coming all from the hips. And then when you get to a place and you feel like your hips can't go any further, maybe you bring the right leg down. Try not to put all your weight on that front arm. Try not to put all the weight onto the right arm. Open up the hand. Maybe you make sure that that shoulder is level with the right shoulder. The left shoulder is level with the right shoulder. And then you could look up to the left shoulder. Or maybe you could go a little bit further. To even up it, up the progression, you could always lift that left arm, making it parallel with your right arm. However, you do not have to do that. Push with your legs so you come all the way up again, hands to your waist. You're now nice and upright. Turn the back foot round so that you come and your hips are facing towards the front of the mat. And we're going to come into pyramid pose, hands to heart, and you can always bring this foot a little bit close to the front foot. Make sure that you feel strong in the feet, bend that front knee a little bit, especially for my hypermobile yogis. Breathe in, lift that chest, fold forward from the hips, the hinging forward so that your body comes forward towards that front leg. Keep here. If you want to make it a little bit of more of a hamstring stretch, you can always bring the hands forward. I'm going to keep mine at my heart just because I don't feel ready for that strong stretch. Breathe in and out, engage those legs. Lift all the way back up. And now you're not going to move, but I'm going to move. So we're going to, from here, come into a twist. So from here, we're going to come into a twist. We're going to, you can have your hands at your waist, or you can have them at your heart center. We're going to come forward like we're coming into our pyramid pose, and our hand's going to try and reach forward to the front leg, and wherever it might come, it might come to the floor or it might come to the leg. You're then going to open up towards that right side, coming into a twist. The right shoulder is going to peel up so it's all facing the ceiling above you. You're going to breathe here. Strong legs. This could be too intense. Always come out of it if you don't feel comfortable. Then breathe, come all the way back up, lift all the way back up. I'll just turn around. Take one more breath here. And then step forward so your foot comes back to the front of the mat. And don't fall over forward just like I did. So our warrior 3 is going to come onto our left foot now. Adjust yourself accordingly. Maybe you have that chair again, maybe you have the wall. We're going to bring our hands to our heart center or our waist. Remember, you can need to find a spot in front of you when you do standing balances. And the best thing for warrior 3 is almost give yourself a line that your gaze can follow all the way down to the floor. So bring that weight onto your left side, lift that back foot so it comes behind you. Breathe in, lift the chest, breathe out, hinge the hips forward, the back leg's going to lift. Strong back leg, flex that back foot so it feels like it's going into a wall, engage the glutes. Strong standing leg, then step that back foot, bend the front foot. Warrior 1 on the left side now. Hips facing towards the mat. Adjust the feet if you need a bit more space for your hips. Bend that front knee really nicely, really generously. Feel the edge of the back foot going into the mat. Lift the hands. Breathe here. Maybe your hands just want to stay at heart center, or maybe you want to open them up so they get cactus arms. Breathe in and out, that chest beaming forward. You're opening out in your armpit space. Strong legs, engage the glutes. Breathe here. And then bring the hands back to your heart center. Turn the back foot out. So you're now bringing your hips, they face towards the long edge of the mat. Open out your arms, warrior 2. Make sure that back foot is still feeling the edge of it. Make sure that your shoulders feel like they're parallel and your hands are pulling away, like your fingers are pulling away. You feel the breath and the energy kind of go to the ends of your fingers, like you're shooting it out. Bend that front knee generously. Then bring the back arm to meet with the front arm. Bring your hand all the way back down your arm so you feel like you're shooting off, and then maybe stretch further into your warrior 2. One more time, bring that hand to meet the front arm. Shoot it back like you've got a bow and an arrow, and you're bringing that string back nice and strong. Breathe in and out. And then lift up with that front leg straightening. Bring the back leg a little bit closer to the front leg. Coming into triangle. Hands can be at the waist. Breathe in and out. We're going to be bringing our chest. So mine's facing my wall. It's going to be facing the long edge of the mat. Bring it so you come down, side bending, feeling a stretch in the inside of your leg. Breathe here. That shoulder is going to start to come to the ceiling. Breathe in and out. Feeling a stretch down the side body. Maybe this arm comes down, but we're not going to try and put all our weight in it, remember. We're going to open out the palm, opening out even more in the chest. Maybe this arm comes up, maybe it doesn't. Lift all the way back up with the hips. Strong legs. Turn that back foot in a little bit, so then your hips are facing the front edge of the mat. Bring your hands to your chest, lift the chest, engage the glutes. Breathe. We're going to come forward, folding over the front leg for pyramid pose. Breathe out, come all the way down, hinging at the hips. Maybe those hands come down, maybe they don't want to. Come back up. We're going to be doing then our reverse triangle. bring ourselves back down. Hands could be at the heart center or they can be at the waist. Bring that right arm comes down, the left arm begins to lift up to the waist. And you can feel then the stretch in the spine here. Maybe you feel it in your legs. Breathe in and out, try and open up towards that left side. Really deep twist here. Maybe you lift that arm. Breathe in, come back so you face the ground. Lift back up through the hips. Step back to the front of the mat. Come into your Tadasana again. Open up the palms, close the eyes. Feel the feeling of your feet on the floor. How has it changed from your last Tadasana? We're going to then step, so we're going a wide-legged stance on the mat. So this could be it, or maybe you want to make it wider, just depending on how strong your legs are and also the movement in your hips. I make mine a little bit fit, like good in between. We're then going to bring our hands to the waist and we're going to come into a forward fold. I'll show you this way and then I'll turn around and show you the other way for the second one time. We're going to make sure that we hinge from the hips. Breathe in. Breathe out, come forward. Our back is staying nice and straight and so it's not arching forward in any way. Breathe in and out. Maybe you continue to look at the ground, having your chin a little bit lifted. Maybe you tuck the chin. Maybe this is intense and you just want to come back up through the hips and strong legs. Keep those strong legs engaged. Engage the glutes. Maybe the hands come down. Pushing with the feet, come all the way back up. I'm just going to turn so you can see it from the other way. The key thing is we don't want our bum to come all the way back because we want our weight to be distributed all the way through our foot. My hand's going to be at the heart and my hips aren't going to come back. They're going to stay. They're going to stay still, and it's all about my front body coming forward. Breathe in. Breathe out, come forward. Make sure that you've got that weight distributed throughout your feet, even in your toes. Each toe can feel some weight because otherwise you could fall forward. Tuck the chin. Maybe bring the hands down, intensifying the stretch. Lift back up, strong core, glutes engaged. And then from this position, turn the toes out so they come away from each other. We're going to come in to goddess pose or horse pose. We're going to bring our hands to our heart center still. Breathe in and out here. We're going to bend the knees and drop the hips low. So we're coming into like a wide squat. Maybe if you do any type of weightlifting, you might call this a sumo squat. We call this goddess pose. It's nice and empowering for I think everybody. Drop the hips even lower maybe, and then shift the weight from one leg to the other so you can feel that stretch down your hamstring, and you're not also feeling it all being very still. We want to move the stretch. Breathe in and out. Maybe those hips come a little bit lower. Breathe in and out. Lift the chest. Lift the chin maybe. Push with the feet. Come all the way out. Engage the core. Engage the glutes. Breathe in and out. Come back to the front of the mat when you feel ready. We're going to be doing a standing balance sequence. If you feel like you need a chair or a wall, make sure that you go there. I have a nice wall here. I'm not going to be using it, but it's more there. If you need to put that hand out on it, you've got it there. You don't have to use it. It's just these could be a little bit challenging for you, but also it's just that kind of a security that if you know it's there, you might even be able to just do it without it, but at least it's there. So breathe in and out here. We're going to bring the front legs, going to come forward. It can bend at the knee, flex the foot, lift the chest, hands can be on the waist. And then bring that leg back, bring it forward, and then stretch the leg out, pointing it. See how far you can lift it without the use of your hands. Feel it in the hip joint, feel your glutes engaged, your core's engaged. Find that point to focus on in front of you, then bring that foot all the way back. Bend at the knee, come into a hamstring curl so the heel's coming towards the bum. And then we're going to bend the standing leg, drop the leg down, all the way down the leg with control. You can always come out of it. Maybe you stick there for a minute. Bring that leg all the way down so you sit on your bum and your left leg is over your right knee. So if you want to go back and just check that out again, you might need to. We're coming into Lord of the Fish's legs from that standing posture. And if you feel like maybe you want to break it down, I would suggest that. So once you're down on the floor and you're in your Lord of the Fishes posture, just to help your knee and make sure that we're not going to be hurting it in any way, make sure this foot here is nice and flexed so your toes are coming away and your foot's engaged. This foot's also going to be engaged and we're not going to let it slip down and out and so we're hurting our leg and our hip. We're going to be keeping it nice and engaged and lifting. Lift with our spine, breathe in and out. Bring the right hand to meet with the left knee. Left hand comes behind us. We're going to twist towards that left side. Breathe in and out. It's quite a deep stretch here. Feel free to stretch out this leg if it's too much. Breathe out, come back to center. Bring the left hand even to the left knee. Bring yourself round to the right side so your chest comes to the right side. Counter stretching. Bring yourself back to center. From here, unravel your legs and come to staff pose with your knees bent. Hands come by your side. Make sure the feet get flexed so your toes are nice and active. We're going to come into Navasana. So bring it so your body shifts back. Your feet lift up, coming in to boat pose. Engage the core. Maybe there's a little bit of a shake. That's normal. Your hands can come up. 3 breaths. Bring those feet down, spread them nice and wide. Maybe you rock onto the toes, or maybe you rock all the way forward to your yogic squat, your malasana. You could be on your toes as well. From here, straighten the legs, lift up so you come into a forward fold. Don't straighten the legs completely though. Lift all the way up when you're ready through the hip joints. So you're not bending your back too much or arching your back even. Breathe here for a moment. We're going to do the other side now. So what we just did was the right side, so we want to do the left side now. Bring this knee up, the weight comes onto our right side, nice and strong, flex the toes. Bring that foot back. Bring it forward, lift that foot up, straighten the leg. Strong here, come and bring that leg all the way back. The heel comes towards the bum into a hamstring curl. Then bend that standing leg, drop the knee all the way down, shrimp squat. Maybe, oh my goodness, maybe you fall into the wall like me, or maybe you can get all the way down so this knee hits the ankle. I cannot. And then try and bring that leg all the way down. Coming back into our Lord of the Fishes on the right side. So our right leg's bent round, our left leg's even bent round. and then our right leg is over the top. If you feel like you need to straighten your left leg, feel free to. Make sure that your bum is completely on the floor. Bring your left hand to meet with your right knee. Bring your right hand behind you, come into a twist. Breathe in, you straighten your spine. Breathe out, you twist round. Maybe the left elbow wants to go over the right knee. Maybe it doesn't. Breathe. Come back to center. Bring the right hand over the right knee. Bring the left hand behind you. Twist, counter stretching. Then unravel the legs. Come all the way to the bum. And here we're just going to come into a gentle forward fold. Bend the knees. Come forward with the chest. Hinging from the hips, come over the legs. Breathe. Maybe then you can start to actually straighten the legs. Maybe the knees aren't quite towards the head or the belly towards the thighs. Just see how it feels. Make sure those feet are flexed. Stretching the hamstrings and the spine. Come and lift yourself back up. Take a moment here. And then bring yourself onto your back. You're going to plant your feet so that you come into semi-supine. We're going to bring our hands by our sides. We're going to have nice strong feet. Lift up into bridge all through the glutes. And then engage the spine once we come up. So we breathe in as we come up. Breathe out as we come down. We're going to do that one more time and we're going to hold it for 3 breaths. Breathe in, come up. Come all the way down. Bring the knees towards the chest. Rock yourself from side to side. And then maybe you bring those knees to one side and they stick there, and you can stretch out your opposite arm. Look over that opposite shoulder, coming into a twist. Come back so the knees come up. They rock to the other side. You open that arm to the opposite side. Look towards that shoulder. Lift the knees back up. Breathe. Feet come all the way down. Bring the left foot to come over the right leg so that the ankle rests on the right thigh. And you bring that knee, that left knee, is coming back away towards the mat, towards the floor. Lift the right foot up, still push that left knee away, and begin to feel a stretch down the left leg. Or even up the left leg. Depends on how you see it. Coming up the hamstring of the left leg. Bring that right leg down. Bring the left leg all the way to the floor. The right ankle comes over the left knee. Make sure that you're pushing that right knee away, but not with your hands. It's more of like a sensation of pushing. And then bring the left leg up off the floor. It doesn't have to be high off the floor, just off the floor. See if you can get that stretch down the right side. Bring that foot back to the floor, drop the right foot down, take a breath. Begin to bring the feet all the way down so you're lying on the floor. drop the hands all the way down. Breathe here. Relax everything down to the floor for Shavasana. Just a reminder, a cushion is always nice, a blanket's always nice, socks or a jumper, whatever you need in this space. We're going to ground ourselves back down. First of all, I just want you to think any thoughts that you have, they're going to get put to the side right now. We don't need them. There's something we can do with them later. We get lost in our thoughts and it stops us from grounding down. Feet are going to start to relax down to the floor, the backs of our legs, our core. The breath is going to slow down. Breathe here. Allow everything to relax down. Inhale and exhale. Bring the knees towards the chest. Hug those knees in. Bring that nose towards those knees. Breathe in and out. Rock the body from the back to your favorite side. Sit all the way up. Cross the legs. You can open your eyes, or you can keep them closed, or gentle gaze. And then bow towards your hands in your heart space. Thank you for being here. I thank you for participating and practicing with me. I want you to thank your body, thank your legs for getting through it, and thank yourself for looking after yourself. And I hope to see you again soon.